Hey everybody, it's Tex once again with the Intersect Open Source Office, and I'm here today to introduce some of our developer advocates. Well, today's going to be one. We'll have a couple of other videos as we go along here, but today is going to be highlighting Alex Sergin. And Alex, you want to introduce yourself just briefly for a moment?
Yeah, sure. So Alex Sergin, Alex is my full name. I'm a passionate Cardano member, Cardano community member. I've been around since Fund 8. Don't really remember how I joined, because the events at the moment were fairly traumatic. But anyway, yeah, I was very inspired at the time. Then I was very hateful, and then I was inspired again, and it was a like emotional roller coaster. I really enjoy being in Cardano. Love all the people who are here, and big thanks to Gimbal Labs first and foremost, who are one of the our best onboarding initiative so far as I know, and to all my friends there who know me, thank you for your support.
Well, definitely thanks for the vulnerability, and thank you for sharing. So we'll kind of give the community just a little bit of a brief overview for yourself. So first and foremost, tell us some more about what motivates you to work in the blockchain space and open source ecosystem.
Oh yeah, sure. So governance is the word. I'm from Russia. There's governance a bit flaky, quite a bit flaky, and people don't know what it is. So initially, when I joined Cardano, my motivation was to build a social impact system, a social startup where we have a fifth column, free journalism in Russia, which is not like anywhere. But my pain point was that we don't have freedom of speech, and I hope decentralized autonomous organizations are the way to go, and I still think it is. So building decentralized organizations which are resilient, which don't really care about any power or authority, but still at the same time don't devolve into some kind of 4chan, and chaos of anonymous internet. And I do believe that DAOs and crypto can solve this, and I do think Cardano is the best positioned in this regard, and that's what motivates me to stay here.
Wonderful. So tell us some more. I think you let on a little bit here, but tell us some of your experience here as far as working with distributed teams, the various geographies and time zones that are involved here, and how have you been able to ensure effective collaboration on your projects or initiatives?
Oh yeah, I've been in Cardano for 2 years, as I said, since Fund 8. I still remember joining Catalyst, and having like things may break and all the stuff that the Catalyst town hall used to do, and yeah, was quite difficult at the time. Then communication is important, and a big thanks and to some of the people who taught me how to work asynchronously and how to manage my own task and don't depend on others to tell me what to do. That's, I think, is what helps with productivity and ensuring collaboration in a diverse and decentralized environment. So just saying, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I think this is good. I think I can do it. I will do it by time X, and then please do. Communication is important, and in particular, what I began doing or started doing much more than previously since joining Cardano is writing. And there's a lot of articles, notes, documents, text messages, and things like that. It's really, really efficient, and I see how many people really prefer short messages over Discord over long types of posts and articles. But I believe thinking through and writing a piece, which takes some time to read, is really important in this regard, and being able to convey what you think and why is it important and how to go about it.
Well, that definitely sounds like quite the wealth of knowledge there. So knowing what you know, what would you say your plans are as a developer advocate as far as engaging with these developer communities?
It's a quite many things and difficult to concentrate on one at the moment. I would just talk about the most challenging for me. One is I want to build bridges to Russian community, because we do have a lot of there has been about 1 million of people who left Russia since 2022, and hopefully, like quite a few of them are talented developers. I do work on this regard and build the Russian-speaking community and help the people already there to do this work. That's one of the things that I do and what I plan to do. Second big thing is support for Gimbal Labs, where I myself joined through Gimbal Labs, and overall, I have a note in my private notes which says trying to understand Gimbal Labs is counterproductive. It's really sort of a magic thing that some people have built, and I believe we should really be giving it all the support, because if we are to bring to make coming to Cardano comfortable for developers, Gimbal Labs really know how to go about it, and they've been doing it, and I myself joined through, and it's been a really great experience. So I want to proliferate it and to ensure it survives and to replicate in other contexts as well.
Awesome. So to take that a step further, what are your plans with your engagement strategy here? What are your plans as far as collecting and communicating feedback from the developers to the stakeholders?
Participation in special interest groups and working groups, as well as asynchronous communities. So asynchronous communities are chats and things like that, where we don't go for video, but keep communication in text. And these sorts of initiatives, they build teams of people who talk to each other. It's not really teams, but just the people who are interested in the same thing. And then what happens is people who talk to each other, they start to develop their own language and they start to trust each other more. And then when you are coming from outside, you're sort of like sheep, white crow, whatever. And so it takes time and takes communication and a lot of listening and trying to understand what really people care about to be able to say something that they would respond to. And that's a big part of my community engagement strategy since I joined Gimbal Labs, looking at ikigai, if you know the word, is like what the world needs, what I can do, and then going through what really people don't like doing. And myself, I find myself not really predisposed against any sort of activity in our space. So yeah, finding what is challenging and researching it, being able to reason about it, being able to do something with it, and delivering, helping people solve their problems and to me it works best. And I think, yeah, I hope to do this, keep doing this. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing on that point. Can you tell us more about some Cardano projects that you've contributed to in terms of technical or other types of support? Share where you're most skilled, or even an example of where you had to teach another colleague some more on the technical side.
A lot of technical support that I provided in Gimbal Labs is around NICs. Again, going back to Ikigai and doing things that nobody else is doing. When I came to Gimbal Labs, my first, okay, so here's our lesson. Prerequisite is to set up developer environment, and this requires NICs. I was using Linux at the time, trying to install NICs. I broke my operating system, and I thought, there's NixOS, I should try it. And then the people in the forum told me, no, my friend, that's not the way to go. You should go with regular Ubuntu. But I didn't listen, and then it turned out in 3 months, just playing around with the NixOS on my computer and attending Nix Discord calls, talking to people and helping out there, I got to be the most knowledgeable person at the time, or knowledgeable and available at Gimbal Labs at the time. So a lot of assistance that I was providing was around how to set up NICs. Then there's a category of people who want to build their startups but don't know how. It's a diverse category, and I'm very interested in sustainable development goals, and in particular in green energy. So quite a few initiatives I'm involved with, 3 at the moment. One is dormant, are around solar energy and carbon accounting. So in one of the projects, I developed architecture and just technical documentation to build a carbon accounting system using Cardano blockchain. Another project was to build a decentralized autonomous organization. And actually, not a DAO, but the next step, which I discovered was while studying Cardano, is a self-owning thing. So some folks built a mixed technology and law and legal idea of what's a self-owning house. And based on that, there's a whole bunch of things that people think could be self-owning, for example, self-owning taxis, self-owning power plants, and things like that. So there was a side project with the IoT and some people who work in solar energy production around that. I gave some consultations. We went through some of Pluto's project-based learning lessons. And in general, answering questions on Discord is really helpful to get my own technical expertise up, and that's what I enjoy doing and helping people with when they have questions that I'm able to answer.
Yeah, so tell us some more about that. With this technical knowledge that you now have, how do you ensure that these other less experienced developers maybe are able to learn from the knowledge that you can share?
By talking to them, being available, and looking through forums. At the moment, I have in Discord, you can pin servers on the top. So the servers that I have at the top are Intersect, Gimbal Labs, IoG Technical Community, and some of the other, like Helios, for example, and Pragma, and Aiken, or like TixPipe. When I wake up in the morning, or like when my computer wakes up in the morning, I open Discord, look through the sections. If there are questions there, I can answer them.
Gotcha.
Besides that, there's an interesting initiative of writing articles and making educational materials, which I also participate in. So yeah, I created some of modules for Gimbal Labs, again with the NICs, and some things about testing our contracts. Yeah, so that's another way of doing things, just writing articles, how-tos, to-dos, and posting them online so that people can at least or read and understand, or be able to pin to someone. Oh, okay, this person may know, and he's like who I can ask questions to.
Well, I would definitely encourage, if you haven't already, or if it's been enough time, maybe we look at either posting up those articles or reposting them, that we can draw some attention to, again, that technical experience and that ability that you have to educate others.
Yeah, sure.
From a larger perspective, what do you see as the biggest challenges engaging in this diverse and distributed developer community, and what are your plans as a developer advocate to address this?
One of the biggest challenges that I see is that there's so many things to know, and coming to Cardano, what I'm myself most interested in is making impact, social impact, building technologies around changing the existing, to replace and changing existing systems. So I prioritize people who have ideas about this, and the challenges that I see them face, and myself as well, is that there's so much nuance about any aspect developing on Cardano. So what I do is I help the developers who I fee posting requests. I volunteered to do this work for free to build out some initial things that I don't know how to build. So figure out and build, getting technical expertise at the same time. Another way to get this information digested by myself is participating in maintaining core repositories and like expanding my network. So knowing people who know Plutus well, knowing people who work on the Cardano node, knowing people who work on Icon and others, and knowing them in a sense that if I'm asking them a question, that they kind of know my person, and it's not just some random dude from nowhere who's just pestering them with some like silly questions that they have already answered for 100 times. So building a network and building personal knowledge about the ecosystem through building projects and participating in development activities is my way to go.
Great. Well, thank you for highlighting those tips and tricks. Last one here for you for the community. Share with us some more on how you stay motivated and continue to grow in such a dynamic and innovative environment.
Kite surfing. So I stay motivated. Just I don't know how. It's magic. Because you know, if I don't have things to do, I start to get depressed, and I know this through careful reflection. You know, writing what it's called journals about my early life and past life, and understanding myself, and this helps me. So once I have something to do, there's no really issue to like go and do it, except for cases when it's a really difficult task and I procrastinate, but I think everyone does it. So the challenge is to have things to do. And this is an open source ecosystem, and this challenge is really kind of, people don't tell others what to do. They expect others to show initiative, you know, and propose what could be done. And so to do this, I use a technique which has many names. Some call it U strategy, some call it Feynman's method, some call it Poincaré's method. So it starts with reading and practicing and getting really like focused on small computer screen or some computer screens and on some text and diagrams and whatever knowledge there is, and then taking a break. And that's where kitesurfing comes in. I wake up in the morning, have my breakfast, read, write code, test some things, then I take a break and I go for a physical activity session, and that's really motivating and helps me stay in good mood almost every day. Yeah, going for walks and staying just in a place which is outside of big cities, and have been really beneficial since I moved to this small village where I live right now. And yeah, boredom is the greatest motivator. If you don't have nightclubs to go and bars and other things to distract yourself with, it's like, what else there is to do? It's, go and work, you know, do something useful.
Great. Well, thank you so much for everything you shared, and do want to make sure to mention to everybody, of course, go ahead and give us a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how this content was for you. Let us know what else you want to see. As far as some exciting pieces from the developer advocates, they are going to be working on a contribution ladder. They're also going to be assisting as far as our development of open source libraries, or our collation there rather. Yeah. And then also we're going to be taking a look at of course, feedback from the developers themselves in the community. So we'll look to our developer advocates to help present that for us. But I do want to thank you, Alex, for giving us some time here today, and have a great one, everyone.
Thanks for having me, and thanks, everyone.